What's up, guys? It's Bax, and today we have another Coach Caustic video coming out. I think this is episode 5. This was submitted by Big Trainers. I'm just gonna call him Big, and it's been sitting in there for a while. I felt kind of bad. I forgot that I had saved this one. So, without further ado, let's hop right in and see what he's got for us.
Got one here.
This is a really weird area to fight in as Caustic, to be honest. And beams, dude. That's that console beaming right there. Ooh, another Caustic? Another Caustic ulted you. I'm not sure about that ult right there. But I guess it did work to confuse the other team. This is a rough area, to be honest. This is a rough area to fight in. Right there, what that ultimate did, when the ult was thrown at them, he threw his ult in, and what it did was it confused the enemy because they ran through it thinking that they wouldn't take damage. But then they took a bunch of damage. Now, I'm not sure about the ultimate layering. I've never personally done that, but that's very situational to a Caustic when you're fighting another Caustic. It ended up working in your favor, and you were able to get rezzed here by your teammate. You're definitely playing off of your, like, knowing that you had a lifeline on your team, which is totally fine. And you guys have all these rampart shields here that you guys are using, or walls here that you guys are using. That was a good defensive trap there while you healed. Picked it right back up. Nothing wrong with throwing one of those. Let's see, they're by the portals.
Target spotted here.
Ooh, fighting these buildings is scary. I always feel like I'm just gonna get beamed by somebody when I'm shooting at them when they're on it. We're seeing some of that long-range controller accuracy. It's rough as hell, dude. Yeah, I was gonna say, in this situation, I'd probably push in. These buildings actually really suck for Caustic because there's windows on either side and then doors. See there? Okay. The traps here aren't horrible, especially the one because there's smoke. The chances are they're not going to shoot those out. The thing I would be cautious about is you threw all your traps when in reality you only really needed one. So you could have saved 2 for later. You also have your ult still, which is totally fine. So you can use that, but you threw out all of your traps. And in this situation, I might have only thrown 1, maybe 2 on each side of this. I guess this is an AC unit. I don't know what this is, but I would throw it on each side of this really, so no matter where they go, on the roof at least, they would get surrounded. Or they would get hit by the gas. But it looked more like you were kind of just panic throwing traps around. I would definitely recommend saving a trap here in this situation so that you have it for later. Especially if your team is just rolling up and it's kind of a fresh fight with a third party coming in. From what I've gathered, I think there's another team fighting this team, or they just killed the team and they're rezzing. But they're definitely rezzing, so you have an advantage. There's really no need to throw all these traps aggressively when you have the advantage in the fight. One trap in that gas or that smoke would have been perfect, and then your teammates could have run up, and you'd still have traps and your ultimate to use instead of just your ultimate. But it ended up working out because that horizon and this. One thing I was gonna say is you threw all these traps up here, and then you had to get off of the roof. But what ended up happening was the team rotated back up, and then that horizon went right into your trap. You ulted her, and she went right into your trap, so it did work in your favor. But now you have no ultimate, and you're going to only have one trap, and it's just rough. When you have no ultimate and only a trap, and you're really waiting for those CDs to come off, it's rough when you're Caustic. But it's working out now. Now it would just be a good time to reset. Once you get this team killed, I would even relocate too, because it's about to be hectic with no trap. Nice. Hell yeah, dude. You still wiped the hell out of them. They didn't know what to do when they were on that roof, bro. That is unfortunate. Where is your team? That man, I don't think I've ever seen that. He just queued behind him and they just sat there. Now it's a good time. Yeah, it's definitely a good time for your lifeline to fall back. Throw that res. Oof. I would, see there, if you're trying to cocoon, throw it off the wall. Don't throw it at your feet, because if a team came this way, they would just beam the shit out of you under your trap. This cocoon method doesn't really work as well anymore. If you look at the wall and throw the trap at the wall, it'll bounce back onto you and be on the floor still. Respawn has not patched that yet. If Respawn patches that, cocooning's basically done. This cocoon method's not terrible, but I wouldn't get in the habit of it, because if you're getting attacked, people will shoot them out immediately almost if they can see you. But then if they run around the corner and you're sitting in this, they can shoot your legs very easily and it will get you killed. So I would definitely make sure that you throw it against a wall to cocoon yourself from now on. But smart that you wanted to do it. Ooh, your teammate tried to throw bot for you as well. You kind of cucked him with that. But still, though, that was good. Your team was a little bit slow on the uptake to get to you when you were knocking those people. Or once you got that squad wipe and that other team ran up on you. If they had been there a bit faster, it might have been a bit cleaner. But, again, that has nothing to do with you, really. It has to do with your team. That was still good, though. That Horizon went up. She went up her Q right into your trap. Oh. Dude, Lobo might be the move to get guns from now on. Holy hell. You just had a PK sitting right there in front of you. You're crazy for not picking that up, dude. Especially you controller boys. Dude, PK was my favorite thing to use when I played on console.
1 minute until the nearby ring clock. Another variable for the
it looked like you tried doing it. It's not being very friendly with you. This is the worst right here. This is the actual worst. When you are on a slight incline and the trap is facing the wrong way, the cocooning is so bad. Like, you're barely... I'm not knocking you for trying it. I do it sometimes, but it's just frustrating because if you were in this one right here, for example, your head would be sticking out. So if someone just started shooting at you, they'd probably hit every shot. It's unfortunate. Oh, you guys are going to have to move in here. In a field. This is not a good spot for... This is not a good ending for Caustic. That's for damn sure. Oh, and you have that team in there. Some good damage out on him. Your Mirage is getting tagged up. You have a whole Sheila team, or a whole Rampart team defended up there hard. And you only have a Lifeline and a Mirage. Alright, so this is going to be rough. Guys, this is a very rough ending area for Caustic. Definitely the weaknesses of Caustic, I would say at higher ranks, is 100% it's the end games. The same thing happened with early King's Canyon, before they changed a lot of stuff, and some World's Edge. There were a lot of places in World's Edge that at the end, you were just screwed if you had a Caustic on your team. I was just gonna die. And this definitely seems like it. You're biding your time, though. You have two enemy teams that can be pushing in and fighting each other. I don't like that your team is spread, though. In a situation like this, you want to move in with your team, but I don't know if these guys are randoms or what. But yeah, this dude, perfect. Absolutely perfect. Their whole setup is just nothing now. Their whole setup is just nothing. You literally just took all that time they spent defending and building all this shit, and you immediately ruined it. That was perfect. That was a perfect... That was an absolutely perfect ultimate, dude. Straight up. Absolutely perfect. You completely deserve that wipe. It's unfortunate your Mirage wasn't able to make it to you. But, yeah, that was a... I want to look at that again. That was an absolute... That was a dime. Look at this. You waited. You just waited. You were patient. You ran up. Look at that. Their whole wall is nothing now. They're just trapped. Look at all those numbers, too. Doesn't that just look nice? A whole team, and I think that's more damage indicators on Caustic I've ever seen in my life. You literally have, like, 12 markers all going off at the same time. That was just perfect. That was absolutely just a perfect ultimate. That was smart. That was good plays. You took a bad situation and you made it a better situation. It is unfortunate now that your Mirage got killed, but you're now in a 2v3 and they have zones. So that's kind of rough. But you can use this Rampart setup to your advantage here. I think that's what you're trying to do. Oh, look at your lifeline jumped on that Sheila. You're gonna pick that one up. Yep, that's smart. This is what I don't know if someone else. I don't want to steal this from somebody else, but I'm pretty sure I call this trench warfare. You're just fucking. You're just in the trenches, bro. You also see that you have another Caustic. But when you're throwing traps like that, you throw one, you run up and pick one up, throw another one, and you're just kind of aggressing forward. So at any point that they start shooting at you, you can pop a trap, and then you have moved up. You have effectively taken that ground, because now they can't really push through to you. They can just shoot at you. So that I call that trench warfare, or somebody else did. I can't remember. That's basically, it's just, you're just pushing. You're just taking, just inch by inch, you're going in, and you're kind of playing leapfrog with your traps. Nothing wrong with that. I've done that before. It's a lot easier in buildings, or kind of tight spaces. But this is a perfect example of it. You use this smoke to your advantage. You also now know that there's another Caustic to fight against. You can use that to your advantage. It can go that can go well for you, or it can go bad for you here, because you could take advantage of the confusion of his two randoms while killing that Caustic. If he has gas everywhere, you can run in and out of that and be a pain in the ass. Also, if the enemies run into their teammates' Caustic's gas, they'll light up for you, and that's perfect because they won't really be expecting that when you're not in the gas with them. They might think that they're safe, and then you can absolutely destroy them. So I want to see how this goes for you. Nades could be perfect here, and ultimate accelerant. Oh, your teammate's putting in some cover. If I was your teammate, I would have run up a little. This is a lifeline thing, but I would have run up a little bit more and placed it a little bit further ahead so that you had more cover on the way up.
Gas trap deployed. Beware.
But yeah, they're ignoring your traps. They're ignoring your traps. They're trying to push through it for some reason. You're throwing even more traps through in the confusion. You get to push through and get an easy knock. Oh, that would have been amazing if you were able to get behind that. And if you had a Digi right now, that'd be beautiful. You're just slowly trapping this team back there. You're just slowly trapping them back there with gas. Ooh, lifeline, dude. Lifeline goes crazy. 3 knock, Caustic 1v1. Let's go, dude. That was just... oh, man. That was beautiful. The use of the traps here to create diversion was amazing. Right here, you pushed up. You used your lifelines. You used your lifelines ult. You pushed up. You took this cover right here, which was good. You threw traps up in the air. So now, if the team had taken the time to shoot your traps, they still would have been shooting traps while you peeked them, and that's what you did. But these traps were so good, and once you threw these 2 traps, look, you just got easy shots on them while they were looking at your teammate. You're able to do huge damage, and for some reason that Bangalore pushed forward into your gas. She's taking ticks from there. Now, when you threw these first 2, you used the gas that was already there. You used that as a diversion to put another trap in front of yourself in the middle of all these traps. Chances are they're not going to shoot that out because it's in the middle of gas. They can't really see it anyway. And you're able to get a knock there. They just had a lifeline, so they're able to just res forever. Luckily, they didn't have a golden backpack. I think your teammate ran up there and got a knock. You put another trap forward. I think they shoot this out. Because it never came up. But yeah, your teammate did. Your teammate got both knocks back. And you used your last 9 rounds to get the knock on the lifeline. If that lifeline had gotten the res off and you hadn't been able to hit her, you could have thrown your ult right there. And then effectively the only person you're really fighting in that moment is Caustic, because you could back up and use your digi. The person that the lifeline reses will get knocked immediately. That lifeline would have been knocked immediately, and you still would have been in a 1v1 situation with that Caustic. I think for this whole end situation here, you were in a really bad spot. There was a bad zone, and you used your toolkit to your advantage to push in. And I think you did it well. That ultimate on the Rampart team was amazing. You're pushing in to this team was done well also. It looked good. The only thing I would say on that one building is just maybe think about some of your trap throwing and not throw so many at once. But you're very aggressive with traps. It's a different play style than mine, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. You know, Bones has the same kind of play style as that. He's very aggressive with his traps. Not a bad thing at all. So I hope this, if there's anything, if this doesn't teach anybody anything, I hope it teaches you that you can play Caustic in different ways and still do it to great effect. I don't play Caustic like this, but this is still effective. The way you use your traps, you made sure you were safe when you threw them, first of all. You made sure you weren't just going to die with your arms straight out in front of you, getting shot. Every time you threw traps, most of the time you were either crouch spamming or you were hiding behind something, and you were throwing it up and over. So that is, like, if you guys don't learn anything from this, other than that, it would be perfect, because that's how you should do it. I see a lot of new Caustics are in the middle of the open, panic throwing traps, like they're a Wraith about to queue away. And all of these just worked out well. You're behind cover, and then you're just pushing up the cover with trench warfare tactics, and it was just perfect. I thought this ending was great. The use of your ults was great. You won a situation you really shouldn't have won. And I do hope I learned something from this with that. I have to remember to keep steady with that kind of trap placement. And I need to get a little bit more aggressive with traps, I think. Because that really showed the power of how Caustic has some power on this map. Even though people are saying he's not good on this map, a Caustic player makes him good on this map. And you just proved that. You played the way you needed to play for the situation, and you got the win. I know this is just a pub, but if you did something like this in ranked, it would have been great. You played with your team. You made sure that you rotated correctly before you started fighting. And the way you killed that Rampart team was very impressive. That was just perfect. The end push there too, also great. For the cards you were dealt, you played them. You played them the way you needed to play them. So again, Big Trainers, I appreciate you sending this in. I hope you got something out of this. I sure as hell did. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. You know, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And I'll see you guys in the next one.